Thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Whether you're listening during your commute, while working out, or just relaxing at home, we appreciate you. Every download, every listen, and every subscription means a lot. Up next, the 12 Kyle podcast.
Takeover from Jay-Z. And for Nas, Ether. Which one wins the battle? Easy. As great as Takeover is, I thought that Jay-Z virtually and career-wise killed Nas, was knocked out for a long time. Didn't he drop Ether on Jay-Z's birthday? I think he dropped Ether on Jay-Z's birthday, which is crazy in and of itself. Yeah, Ether all day wins because I think Ether is a better diss record. And I'll be honest, and again, I'm fans of both, right? If we keep it at a beam, Ether would have destroyed most MCs. And Jay-Z lost the battle. As much as Takeover could have killed Nas, Ether could have killed Jay-Z. But he didn't knock him down, but he he had him stumbling for a sec. Welcome to another edition of the Rap Soul Podcast. I am your boy 12 Kyle. I want to thank you all for tuning in as you do each and every week. Again, this is the Rap Soul Podcast. This is the intersection where we have discussions about music and artists from the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. Simply put, folks, this is the best music podcast that you have never heard until right now. Again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Shout out to those of you who are watching on YouTube as well as Spotify. Check this out. All right. So at the time of this recording, it is 2026. Somewhere back in 2025, probably around the summertime, there was some discussion online and some discourse, if you will, about the Verzuz series. Remember when we were in COVID and we couldn't go anywhere and they created this thing called the Verzuz series where you would have two artists from, rap or R&B, and they would perform 20 of their songs and they would do a battle and they would go back and forth and the audience would determine who had the better catalog or the best songs or who won the quote unquote battle. It was very popular again during the COVID years. And then once outside opened back up, it kind of went away. I heard that they're bringing it back. We did see one versus battle last year between the camps from Cash Money Records and No Limit Records. And it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But there was some discussion at some point in time last year about Jay-Z. You all know Sean Corey Carter. And the discussion was surrounding the fact that online people were saying that there was nobody who could beat Jay-Z in a versus contest. And while that very well may be true, there was obviously some pushback. A lot of people started throwing out names as far as artists who could probably beat Jay-Z. And I'll be honest, when I saw a lot of the discourse online, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it because when you think about Jay-Z, his legacy, his catalog, there are very few that can compare with him because Jay-Z has been doing this for a very, very long time. But however, there was one person in particular who trotted out the theory that, that there was someone who was worthy of competing against Jay-Z, and they threw it out there. And I was very interested in what they had to say. Now, I'll be honest. The person that I'm speaking about is my man, Eclectik. You know him. He runs he has two podcasts, Before Everything Changed and the Encyclopedia Hip Hop podcast. And he tweeted it out one day from his Encyclopedia Hip Hop Twitter page, a list. And for those of you watching on YouTube and Spotify, I'm going to put this list up. And he recommended an artist that he thought could very well battle and possibly beat Jay-Z in a versus battle. And that would be none other than his contemporary, Nas. Now, full disclosure, I am a huge fan of Jay-Z. I'm a huge fan of Nas. Um, I've said on this podcast, before that if I were ranking my lyrical MCs, both appear in my top 5, with Jay-Z being number 3, Nas being number 2, and of course, number 1 being the God MC, Rakim Allah. That being said, when Eclectik tweeted it out, I found it to be very interesting because of all the people and all the discourse that I'd seen up and down my Twitter timeline and my Instagram timeline, Nas was the one name that didn't come up. And so the thing that I always tell people about the Verzuz battle is what you have to remember is it's not necessarily the songs, but it's the songs that go against each other. So it's not what you play, it's when you play it and which song goes against which. So if you take, someone's most popular song, there a number that they had that was a number 1 hit. The other person needs to come with a number 1 song that was a number 1 hit as well, or a song that's just as good. So you need to trot out your best songs, basically. And when Eclectik put it out there, I found that to be interesting. So I made a mental note. I think I shot him a text and I was like, yo, I said, man, I think I need to do a episode on this. And in fact, I probably would have had him on this episode had I not been recording this episode at 7:25 a.m. So yeah, shout out to Eclectik. Again, this is totally his idea. And when I run down this list of verses, you'll kind of get where he was coming from. Now, what's interesting about his list as far as the verses songs, and you'll see there's no clear winner. He just puts up each song for song, and then you have to decide. So he does not tell you who he thinks won the battle or would win a battle. He just put the numbers and the songs out there and let you tally them up. And so that's what I'm going to do on this episode right here. So without further ado, I'm going to do this. And again, I have not done it. All I have done pretty much is written down. If you're watching, I've written down each song under both artists' names. And so what I'm going to do is put a check mark by the one that I think would win the versus battle. And again, I haven't gone through it, so I don't know how this is going to go, but I think Nas is a worthy opponent of Jay-Z. And of course, they did battle, so so it goes right up their alley. So let's get it cracking. All right. So, and these songs are in no particular order. I'm just going to go down the list of what he had, and we'll go song for song. So coming in at number 1 for Jay-Z, Where I'm From. For Nas, New York State of Mind. Now that's tough for me because Where I'm From is my favorite Jay-Z song. New York State of Mind is my favorite song off Illmatic. So I'm going with New York State of Mind. That's going to be a win for Nas. Number 2, Dirt Off Your Shoulders for Jay-Z. For Nas, Got Yourself a Gun. Jay wins that. Dirt Off Your Shoulders is cold. All right. Number 3, Can I Live for Jay-Z. For Nas, It Ain't Hard to Tell. This one's tough again for me because as much as I love It Ain't Hard to Tell, it's my favorite song off the Reasonable Doubt album. So I'm going Can I Live. So far, we're 3 in and Jay-Z's up 2-1. All right. Next up, number 4 for Jay-Z, Otis. Okay. With him and Kanye. Number 4 for Nas, Fast Life. Nas and Cool G Rap. I'm going Nas. Nas and Cool G Rap, Fast Life get the win. So we're at 2-2 now. Coming in at number 5 for Jay-Z, The Smash, I Just Wanna Love You. For Nas, coming in at number 5, You Owe Me. I think that was pretty obvious. For me, I'm going with I Just Wanna Love You. You Owe Me was a song that it wasn't as bad as people said it was, but it wasn't that good. It's the hook kind of kills it. I mean, Nas and Genuine, yeah, it he tried. Let's just say that. Move on. Number 6, Izzo. H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy. Love that joint. For Nas, number 6, Made You Look. Whew, now this one's tough for me. This one's tough because Izzo was my joint when it came out. And it got played everywhere, out of every car, anywhere you went in the club, it was getting played. Made You Look was so tough though. Made You Look. We can cruise through the streets, no doubt, but don't say my car's topless. Say the titties is out. Yeah, I'm going Made You Look. All right, so next up, number 7, 1,000,001, Cry No More from Jay-Z. Number 7 for Nas, The Message. Listen, a million is so tough, man. Jay and Primo, come on, dog. That's tough. But The Message. Fake Thug, No Love. You get the slug CB4 gusto. I luck. No. We go with The Message, baby. All right. Number 8, Heart of the City from the Blueprint album for Jay-Z. Number 8 for Nas, One Love. From Illmatic. I love Heart of the City. I love Heart of the City. But it ain't touching One Love. It's not touching One Love. I'm sorry. So again, this is a versus battle, or at least what Eclectik has proposed that we make in a versus battle. So these songs are going back and forth. And at number 9, Takeover from Jay-Z. And at number 9 for Nas, Ether. Which one wins the battle? For me, it's easy. Listen, as great as Takeover is, I thought that Jay-Z virtually and career-wise killed Nas. Nas sat on the deck and was knocked out for a long time. I think it was 8 months between the time we heard from Nas and then when he dropped Ether. And I think, didn't he drop Ether on Jay-Z's birthday? I think he dropped Ether on Jay-Z's birthday, which is crazy in and of itself, December 4th. Yeah, Ether. All day. Ether wins because I think Ether is a better diss record. Nas destroy, and I'll be honest, and again, I'm fans of both, right? If we keep it at a beam, Ether would have destroyed most MCs. And Jay-Z lost the battle. I don't care what y'all say. He lost the battle, but to his credit, he didn't fall off. Because as much as Takeover could have killed Nas, Ether could have killed Jay-Z. But he didn't knock him down, but he had him stumbling for a second though. So Ether is up at number 9. Number 10, Hard Knocks Life from Jay-Z. And from Nas, I Can. I Can is a really, really dope song. It's very motivational for the kids. I'll be honest, I got tired of that song really fast. So I'm definitely going with Hard Knock Life. So let's tally them up after 10. We've got Jay-Z at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Nas at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Nas is at the halfway break. Nas is in the lead here. It's very interesting because these are some heavy hitters by Jay-Z. And again, got to shout out Eclectik because he didn't tally anything up. He let the people who are reading his tweets decide, who they would pick. So it's halftime. So that means it's time for us to take a quick commercial break. On the other side, we'll complete the other 10 and let's see if Jay-Z can make a comeback. Sit tight. We'll be back in just a second. We are back. Once again, it's your boy 12 Kyle. This is the Rap Soul Podcast, and we're talking about who could beat Jay-Z in a versus battle. And on this episode, we're talking about Jay-Z versus Nas. Again, shout out to the homie Eclectik who came up with this idea and this concept and proposed the idea of not just the battle, but he actually laid out the songs where they would go back and forth. And so the great thing about Eclectik's tweet is that nobody else did this. Everybody else threw out who they thought could beat Jay-Z in a versus, or they said, well, hey, Jay-Z couldn't be beaten in a versus. But to have it laid out like this, again, got to shout out the homie right there. So before we left, I told you that Nas was up 6-4 through the first 10. Now we've got 10 more to go because in the versus battle, you only do 20 songs. And so there's a chance that Jay-Z can make a comeback, or there's a chance that Nas can extend the lead. We'll find out. All right. Again, I'm doing this in real time. If you're watching, you can't see it, but I got my pen and my pad right here, writing it down. Coming in at number 11 for Jay-Z, Niggas in Paris. Coming in at number 11 for Nas, We Major. Both were done with Kanye West, if I'm not mistaken. We Major is dope. We Major is a dope song. It ain't touching Niggas in Paris. It ain't touching Niggas in Paris. Niggas in Paris goes hard even to this day. All right. So another one for Jay-Z. Now we come to number 12, the great number 12. For Jay-Z, Brooklyn's Finest with the Notorious B.I.G. And for Nas, Life's a Bitch with AZ. This is very tough because the Brooklyn's Finest song is a feature with Biggie, and it gives us a glimpse as to what could have been had Big lived, more time on this earth, more collaborations with Jay-Z. That being said, the Nas and AZ joint, Life's a Bitch, is one of the best guest features in the history of hip hop. Let's just be honest. So for me, I gotta go Life's a Bitch. So Nas he wins that round. All right, next round. Round 13. You Don't Know from Jay-Z, which is a jam, versus One Mic from Nas. Listen. You Don't Know is so hard. I mean, that song is incredible. I love the remix with M.O.P. There are very few songs in most people's catalog that can touch One Mic. One Mic is a classic Nas song. It gets the victory. All right. So now we're at round 14. For Jay-Z, 99 Problems. Man, listen, that song was a smash. Love that joint. Love the video. Love everything about it. Versus Nas, Hate Me Now, featuring Puff Daddy. Now, Hate Me Now was a joint. I loved it. Video was cold. A lot of controversy and everything around it. I could do without Puff doing all that yelling and shit on the record. But it's not touching 99 Problems. 99 Problems still goes to this day. All right, round 15. I hope you're scoring at home. For Jay-Z, Big Pimpin' featuring UGK versus Uchi Wally. All right, Uchi Wally is a dope song. Like, love, or hate Nas, this is a dope song. It ain't coming close to Big Pimpin'. Jay-Z's verse on Big Pimpin' was dope. I mean, obviously, and you can make a case that Jay-Z didn't even have the best verse on Big Pimpin'. The best verse on Big Pimpin' was Chad Butler. So I don't know what to tell you. Pimp C just killed that verse. So yeah, I'm going big pimping on that one. All right, so Jay-Z's making a comeback. Round 16, Dead Presidents 2 for Jay-Z versus Nas's The World Is Yours. This one is extremely tough for me. Dead Presidents 2 is one of my favorite Jay-Z songs, period. In fact, when Jay-Z said, partner, I'm still spending money from 88, that was the line that hooked me on Jay-Z when I started listening to Jay-Z back in the day. So that song has a sentimental value to me. But The World Is Yours, produced by Pete Rock. I mean, come on, man. There are very few songs that most people can make that can touch that song. That's one of Nas's best songs. And it's off of Illmatic. I'm going Nas on that one. The World Is Yours. All right. So I haven't done a tally, but it looks like Jay-Z's going to have to make a quick comeback if he's going to get in this thing. Let's see what happens. Number 17, round 17, Jay-Z, Imaginary Players. Imaginary Players. Oh my gosh, I love that song. I love that album. Volume 1. A lot of people don't like Volume 1 like that, but I love Volume 1 from Jay-Z. So we're going Imaginary Players versus round 17 for Nas, Memory Lane. Man, this one's really tough. I gotta go Memory Lane, man. Memory Lane is so nostalgic, man. It's so many things. I give Memory Lane the slightest of edges. So I'm gonna give Memory Lane the slight edge there. Next up, round 18, The Evils from Jay-Z versus I Gave You Power from Nas. As much as I love The Evils, it's not this might be the most lopsided of songs. I think for some of these songs, it's the flip of a coin. It's like splitting hairs. But for this one, I Gave You Power is way better than The Evils. Nas rhymes as if he's a gun. Concept rap, you gotta love that if you love hip hop. So I'm giving that one to Nas. I haven't done a tally yet, but Nas is starting to pull away. Jay-Z's gonna have to finish this one strong. Round 19, Can't Knock the Hustle from Jay-Z. Boy, I love this song. I love this song. Round 19 for Nas, If I Ruled the World, featuring Lauryn Hill. I love I Rule the World. I do. When we first heard about this song, when we heard that Nas was coming with a joint with Lauryn Hill, we're a little disappointed that she wasn't rapping on it. But other than that, I mean, so cold. However, Can't Knock the Hustle. I'm giving Can't Knock the Hustle the edge. Can't Knock the Hustle wins this one. In round 20, PSA, Public Service Announcement from Jay-Z versus Nas's Like. This one is easy. PSA wins this. Relatively easy. As much as I love Nas's Like, great primo beat, dope rhymes, dope video, I got to give it to, Jay-Z on that one. All right, so now it's time for me to tally up the results. So Jay-Z in a versus battle versus Nas. Again, shout out to Eclectik for coming up with this concept of the actual songs. I've got Jay-Z winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And Nas winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rounds. So, based on what Eclectik provided for us, Nas in a versus round, based on the songs that you see on the screen if you're watching YouTube and Spotify, or that you've heard me list out, in my opinion, Nas defeats Jay-Z in a versus battle. Now, of course, it's all hypothetical. I don't think anybody's ever going to be able to pay Jay-Z enough money to come down from from his big house on the hill down to kick it with the townspeople and do a versus battle. It ain't enough money for that. And plus, Jay-Z probably doesn't feel like there's anybody who can even come close to being there. But Eclectik has laid out some songs. And whether or not you like it or not, I think Nas is a very formidable opponent. And based on what I see here, I got Nas winning 11-9. Now, I will say this much. As I mentioned at the top, it really depends on the songs. Because if you flip a couple of different songs against each other, if Eclectik doesn't pick these particular songs and put them against each other the way that he did, then Jay-Z probably could win. But in this particular battle right here, against this backdrop of what we have, Nas wins. And I'm not, even though I did it in real time, honestly, I'm not surprised. I knew it would be close just looking at the list. Because like I said, before I started, I wrote the list down, but I didn't pick anything until I started going through it. And honestly, when I looked at the list at first glance, I thought it might be a tie. And, if it's a tie, you can make a case either way. But I've got Nas winning. But I mean, like, if you take one of these songs that Nas won, like if you take, Fast Life versus Otis. If you take Fast Life off and you use, I don't know, Queens Get the Money or something like that, or you use something from like KD3 or something like that, or the joint with what's the joint with Amy Winehouse? Nas probably doesn't win that round, and so now you've got a tie. So you see what I'm saying? So it really just depends. And most of these songs from Jay-Z and both Nas came in their quote unquote prime. I can make a case that Nas is in his second prime right now. Jay-Z, I don't think is going to make any more music. And if you've heard his last couple albums, probably shouldn't. But again, I love Jay-Z. I love him. Could he rap? Yeah, Jay-Z can still rap. I'm not going to sit here and make it sound like Jay-Z. I mean, Jay-Z is one of the greatest of all time. But again, in this versus battle, I've laid out the case that Nas can beat Jay-Z in a versus. Now, I will say this much also. There aren't a lot of artists that you can come up with 20 songs that's going to withstand the wave of songs that Jay-Z has. And I'll be honest, if the versus battle were 30 songs instead of 20, Jay probably gets Nas out of there because he's got more. And not to say that Nas doesn't have 30 songs. Nas has 30 songs, but once you get past 20, Nas probably starting to fade a little bit. And Jay is right there. So again, no knock, but I'll be interested to hear your feedback. If you're watching, you've seen it on the screens here. Let me know in the comments what you think, who wins the versus. Don't just tell me who you think would win, but give me the number based on the songs, because that's the key. If you don't have the songs, then it's easy to say, oh yeah, Jay-Z wins 20-0. Come on, man, really? If you tell me that Jay-Z wins 20-0, then you're a Hovenger. And there's a lot of Hovengers out there. And listen, again, I had to preface all of this by saying I'm a huge fan of both. I've been there from day one for both of them. Not a lot of people can say that. I literally have been a day one fan. I bought Reasonable Doubt a couple of weeks after it came out. Not a lot of people were. Some hip hop fans weren't even born yet. And that's cool. I know what I'm talking about. Opinions. Everybody got opinions, but I would love to hear yours. Hit me up in the comment section if you're on Spotify, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you are listening and watching to this episode. That's going to do it for me, folks. Again, thanks again for checking out this edition of the Rap Soul Podcast. Make sure that you download, like, and subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend. Again, this is the best music podcast that you have finally heard. That's going to do it for me. I am your boy 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5,000. See ya.
Thanks again for listening to this episode of the 12 Kyle podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and share this podcast with a friend who needs the 12 Kyle podcast in their life. Every listen, every download, and every share helps us grow. Thanks for being a part of the 12 Kyle podcast community. We appreciate your support. We will catch you next time. 5,000.